Hi guys, welcome to World History class. Today, I'm going to discuss philosophy in the age of reason. Philosophy in the age of reason. Now, philosophy is one of my favorite topics to talk about. In fact, I really would love to teach philosophy. So you got me on something I'm really excited about. What does philosophy mean? Because when I was your age, I used to think that philosophy had something to do with religion. Scratch that from your mind. Philosophy, this word comes from ancient Greek. Philo means love, or really like the love of. And Sophia is wisdom. So the love of wisdom, that's what philosophy is, the love of wisdom. Now, we're not talking about the love of knowledge. I'm going kind of on a tangent here to tell you the difference of wisdom and knowledge, but it's important to know. Knowledge is just knowing things. I mean, I know 2 times 2 is 4. I know 6 times 6 is 36. That's just basic rote memorization, knowing something. Wisdom is being able to take what you know and use it. So wisdom is using knowledge. And philosophy is the love of wisdom. Having a whole bunch of knowledge and being able to use it to do something. That's philosophy. So, once again, philosophy in the age of reason. And in my last lecture, I brought you all the way up to the age of reason. I brought you to the Enlightenment. Oops, sorry about that space there. It's all one word. I brought you up to the Enlightenment. So here we are. It's the early 1700s. Science is exploding. There's been a cure, a vaccine for smallpox. That's amazing, a vaccine for smallpox. I don't know if you know what smallpox is, but it's a pretty nasty disease, and a vaccine was made for it. People at this time were so excited about science. They thought science could answer everything. Now, that was during the 15 and 1600s. 15 and 1600s, there was this amazing boom of science. Along comes the early 1700s, and these people started thinking, maybe we can apply science, the rules of nature, to society. I'm going to talk to you about 2 philosophers. First, okay, I'm going to talk to you about 3 philosophers, but I'm really just going to mention one of them. One philosopher named Immanuel Kant. This name is so big in philosophy. If you ever take a philosophy class in your life, you're going to hear this name a million times. Immanuel Kant. You probably don't see him in this way because you're like 16 years old, but in my nerdy, weird teacher world, I see Kant in memes all the time. memes galore with Immanuel Kant. Very, very famous thinker, philosopher. Kant was the first person to name this time period that we're going to be talking about the Enlightenment. He's the one that called it the Enlightenment. And that's the only reason that he's really so important for this lecture right now. And you just really need to know, like if someone asks you, if I ask you on a test, who named this time period the Enlightenment? That would be Immanuel Kant. But the two philosophers that I'm going to talk to you about are Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. These are two different dudes that both thought that we could solve all of society's problems using science and reason. What is reason? Anyone know what reason is? I'm asking as if you're there and you can answer, but reason is applying logic. Using logic to solve problems. Logic is like the complete opposite of your emotions. Your, let's say, I don't know, I'm gonna pretend that I'm a 16-year-old girl and I have this really big crush on a guy. I just think he's so cute and he's so dreamy and I really, really, really like him. But this guy used to go out with my friend and she tells me he's a jerk. He may be cute, but he's a jerk. Sorry, he's a jerk. He's mean, he's rude, he'll be mean to you. Don't go out with him. But my heart, oh, he's so dreamy, he's so cute. God, I really, really, really want to go out with this guy. That's your emotions speaking. If you were to use reason, you would listen to what your friend said, because your friend has actually gone out with this guy before and she says he's a jerk. So your emotions, this guy comes and he asks me out. And if I let my emotions guide me, then I go out with him, I say yes. But if I let reason guide me, I say no. Thomas Hobbes and John Locke both thought that if we used reason, that we could solve all the problems of society. And that's because they were so excited because of all these scientific breakthroughs. Science that was curing sicknesses, science that was doing, science that had discovered gravity, science that had discovered that the earth revolves around the sun, not the other way around. All these amazing things were happening with science. And so Thomas Hobbes and John Locke thought, let's use science to cure society's ills. Okay, so first we're going to talk about Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes wrote this book called the Leviathan. I'm going to repeat that. Thomas Hobbes wrote a book called the Leviathan. Thomas Hobbes wrote a book called the Leviathan. And if you can't figure out why I keep repeating that over and over again, then that problem is on you, buddy. Thomas Hobbes wrote a book called the Leviathan. In the Leviathan, Thomas Hobbes, who wrote Leviathan, Hobbes thought that people were naturally bad. People are naturally bad. He thought people were cruel, selfish, greedy, and just generally bad people. And Hobbes thought that people needed a strong leader. They need a strong, authoritarian leader to tell them what to do. Because if they didn't have this strong government, strong leader over them, that people would just do bad, horrible things all the time. And he suggested one strong leader, an absolute monarchy. An absolute monarchy. We all, hopefully, you know what absolute means. An absolute monarchy means one leader that controls everything. Nobody questions anything you say. If that monarch says, go out and kill all the blue-eyed people in the city, then his soldiers would not question him at all. He would go out and kill all the blue-eyed people in the city. Absolute monarchy, you do what that person says. And Thomas Hobbes said that society needed that because people are naturally bad. Well, John Locke who wrote two treatises of government, two treaties of government, two treaties of government, two treaties of government, two treaties of government, the two treaties of government was written by John Locke. John Locke believed people were good. People are good. Naturally, deep down inside, people are good. People are moral. People are kind. People are good. That's what Locke believed. John Locke said that he also believed that people are born with natural rights. Natural rights. These rights were life, liberty, and land. Life, liberty, and land. Those are things that the instant you're born, you have a right to life, liberty, and land. And John Locke said that the government, the only reason the government should exist is to protect your right to life, liberty, and land. The government should be there to serve the people. They're not there to be this strong, powerful leader against horrible, bad people like Thomas Hobbes thought. John Locke thought the people should be in charge. The people are there, and the government is there to help take care of the people. That's what he thought. Now, he completely rejected an absolute monarchy. Locke said, no way. Absolute monarchy is horrible. The government is only here to serve the people, to protect the people's life, liberty, and right to property. During Locke's lifetime, there was this thing called the Glorious Revolution. This is when, so James II was the king, and I kind of want to really go into it and give you this really long lecture about the Glorious Revolution, but I don't really have to. You'd probably get bored, and so I'm not going to. Just James II was the king, and he did a bunch of bad things. He didn't really do bad things. He did a bunch of things that people didn't like. He did a bunch of things the people didn't like. And the people rose up and revolted. They were out in the streets. They were angry. James II was afraid he was going to get killed, and he ran away. Literally, James II, the king, ran away. The people won. Now, John Locke, this happened while he was alive and while he was thinking about things, and he said, whoa, that is so cool. In fact, that's how government should always work. Government should always work that way. If the government does something to anger the people should be able to get rid of them. The people should be able to get rid of the government. If they don't like them. That's pretty cool, huh? Oops. So the other dude, Thomas Hobbes, was saying, one strong, powerful leader that makes all the decisions. And John Locke was saying, no. The people are the ones with the power. The government is just there to help the people. And if the government isn't helping the people should be able to kick their butts out. And that idea at this time was revolutionary. This was crazy talk. Like, for you guys now, this doesn't really seem so crazy. I mean, we have elections. If you don't like the president, you just vote him out. But this was not what it was like during this time. We're talking, people are coming from hundreds and hundreds of years of one strong king, one leader that rules them all. But John Locke had this like, whoa, crazy man idea. You guys have been doing it wrong forever. This isn't how it should work. How we should do it is the government should serve us. We are the people. We're the ones that are important. The government serves us, and if they're not serving us, let's just get rid of them. Let's get rid of them and get a new government. It was wild talk. And it was this very idea that eventually led to the American Revolution. And then after the American Revolution, there were loads of other revolutions that were all inspired by this one dude right here, John Locke. What was it that John Locke wrote? I'm not going to remind you. Go back and look. You will need to know about Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. Pretty much everything I just told you, you're gonna have to sum it up for me. And you're gonna have to know the names of the two really important things that they wrote. You also need to know the other dude's name. What was his name again? Oh yeah, Immanuel Kant. You need to know his name. Okay, I'm done. I hope you enjoyed my lecture on philosophy in the age of reason.